There are few artists as well known on the visionary art scene than that of Chris Dyer and his brand Positive Creations. I caught up with him in Tucson, Arizona at the 2016 Gem and Jam Festival and discussed with him what events led him to who he has become today. Chris was one of the first artists I discovered when I first started becoming so passionate about the visionary art movement. So this interview meant a lot to me from a personal level. I'm Clint Culberson with lordsofconsciousness.com, and I'm here joined by one of my heroes, honestly, truly, visionary art legend, Chris Dyer. Chris, how are you, man?
Great, man.
Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for joining me here today.
Yeah, we're here at the Gem and Jam Festival, and it's beautiful, great vibes here. Digging all the art, all the amazing people out here. There's a lot of people watching. You see it all the time on all the festivals that you go to, right?
Yeah, people dress really funky out here and get all pretty, and yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah. So you kind of have a unique history. Were you born in Peru?
I was born in Canada actually, but I grew up in Peru from 4 years old to 17.
17.
Yeah, so all my youth. So that's something that's why I can never escape my Peruanity.
Right,
It's just something that's sort of like ingrained in who I was shaped into being.
That's so cool. That is so cool. So you grew up speaking Spanish then?
Yeah.
Most of the time?
I'd say Spanish is my first language, yeah.
First language. And then now you live in Montreal, correct?
Yes, now I live in Montreal.
Was it your mother who was French Canadian?
No, my mom was actually also born in Peru and born in Canada and then went to Peru at 2 years old, and she still lives there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they just sort of like sent me to Canada once I finished school because it was cheaper and better quality, and I would have health care, better opportunities in a developed country.
Right. So but now you're in Montreal. And how long have you been in Montreal?
Like 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
You've kind of seen, I've watched your web series now, and you kind of get to see the community that you've created and that, your community that you're involved with there.
I'd say all of you guys are my community, the positive
That's
people
true.
of the world.
Right.
Back home, I got friends, but I'm a pretty lonely guy, really.
Yeah,
I
really.
just chill by myself, do art. I got a wife. I got some friends, but, I'll come here and everybody will be my friend as much as back home, really.
Right. You to do your art, you need a lot of solitude, though, correct? Is it a balance in your life to always find that time?
I think it depends on the person. I think some people will find more inspiration jamming with all their friends.
Yeah.
I'm more just like to close the door, stay in pajamas all day.
Yeah.
Do my painting, listen to a bunch of records, or leave some movies playing, and that's my enjoyment. It's just me and the painting. And
right.
Yeah. But that's for me,
Yeah. Well, everyone has their method, right?
Totally.
So with you, I always like to ask artists, when you get the blank canvas, do you already have the visual of exactly where you want to go, or does it only start as like a piece that spreads kind of organically?
Yeah, both. I got a general sketch of where I want to go with it, but I don't know what's going to look like at the end because there's a process of self-discovery in it. And so there is an organic flow that takes it somewhere, but I do have a direction. I don't like to just jump on a canvas with no direction because I'd rather do my mistakes on a sketchbook than on the canvas itself.
Right.
I'll correct them on the canvas, but then I'm wasting a bunch of time. I need to get those paintings going, because there's a lot of, not because I gotta sell them, it's because I got a lot of ideas and things that need to be born, and if you don't get them out quick enough, they die.
Yeah.
And that's sad,
Do you find though that your everyday life, let's say you got something going on in your life that's giving you stress, or does that block you sometimes into channeling that, or can you still find ways to work through it and tap into your creativity?
I never really get writer's block.
Really?
I always like making art. If I'm happy, I like making art. It makes me happier. When I'm sad, I need to make art to ground me down. There's never really time where I'm like, ugh. Well, there's been moments where I've painted so much that you need a little bit of a break, take a trip, just not do art for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But then you recharge and you're full of inspiration and you want to do more art. So it's rare that I don't want to do art. It's who I was born to be and do.
You're someone who obviously has kind of channeled that for you. I mean, did it come at a very young age for you that you found it?
Yeah, I'm lucky that I always was an artist and I never really had to go for like, I don't know what to do with my life. I was just always clear that I was here to make art, and I always made it. And I'd say in my youth, it was maybe not so great to be an artist, because in Peru, it's like you rather be a soccer player or a good skater or surfer. Not very good at sports, but I could only be who I was. And now my friends, when I see them again, they're like, "Oh, that's so great that you kept on doing your art, because now you're living this really exciting, fun life." So I think if you're following your heart, you're good, you know. No matter what you're doing.
Did you have a moment though in time where it was like, yeah, you knew you were good at art, but it was time to actually show the world and put yourself out there? And like, did you have like that fear that, man, maybe no one would resonate with this, or did it organically happen? Just
there's always moments of doubt and or moments that you think like, oh, like who's gonna care about this, or how am I gonna make money from these drawings or paintings that I do? There's always, self-doubt. But I think if you're doing what you love, that's what keeps you happy. And I don't know. I just never really had an option. If I was gonna be poor from making art, c'est la vie, At least I was doing something that's making me happy. But because I have the passion and I'm always chasing it hard, money came too at the end of the day, and now I can both sustain myself and, follow my dreams.
What is behind, like, where is this passion that you have for this positivity that you put out there? I mean, your whole business is called Positive Creations.
Well,
where does that come from for you?
Well, I don't think that everything has to be like 100% positive. We naturally have negative and positive inside us, and good days and bad days. But because the world has so much negativity in there, I feel I really need to put more focus and energy into the positive to sort of like balance out the equation and give an option, In this world, it's so popular to be negative and superficial and, gangster and all these like things that are destructive to ourselves and others. I don't understand why the world's that way. Maybe we've been brainwashed towards that way. So I'm gonna be the loser who's like, you know what, being good is actually good, maybe that's cheesy or but whatever, that's what I feel resonates with me. And then I found that a lot of people do vibe with that, and I think these days the true rebels are those who go against this mainstream negativity,
yes.
So that's what I do.
You do it very well, and for anyone who doesn't know about your web series, they should check it out, because it's like you really exude it, and all you're doing is just living your life. You're not doing anything above and beyond that, and you're showing it, and it's inspiring a lot of people actually, man. And get like showing that, hey, being positive is cool. It's the cool thing.
I would hope so. So I go into that more in my documentary than in my web series. I explore positivity and art as an activism through different activities other than activism. My web series, The Art Ventures, are more about like traveling and exploring the places I'm in. So like, so for example, this will be a webisode. What's happening at Jam in Tucson, Arizona? Like, why does this happen? Why do people come? What's up with the jams? What's up with the music? I'm always an alien wherever I go, so I'm also curious to find out, what's up, and that way I can share it with the people who care about my art, and just share a little bit what I'm learning as I go.
What would you tell someone who has a negative outlook on humanity in general? I mean, who thinks that we're gonna doomsday, fall off the cliff kind of? I mean, you obviously are someone who sees it differently, Well,
I got my bad days too, I can't really tell somebody who's negative, hey, be positive.
Right.
Like, they'll be whatever they're at, and I accept that as part of their own journey. I can only do what feels good for me, and if they can observe that and be inspired to at least give it a try, then that's my way of influencing them. But I just find that, sticking to a negative outlook doesn't really make you feel too good, and you're attracting that negative future not only for yourself, but when you're talking about the world, you're attracting it to me too. So quit it, Let's start believing that we can rescue this world and doing whatever we need to do in order to make it happen. It's totally doable, like human beings,
But we can
we can do it.
There's another way, and
Yeah.
Appreciate you for showing it. But thank you, Chris, for joining us, and I really appreciate it, man. It's really great to be joined by you, man. So thanks.